Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so Lakers are playing the Orlando Magic tonight at home, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern, and it's going to be a really nice floor, I would say. The Lakers are going to be having their alternate LA Lake Show floor with our Lake Show uniforms. Orlando's going to be wearing their white home uniforms as a result of us doing that. And new branding, you know what I mean? I've been really excited about this, to be honest with you. I've been wanting an alternate floor for years. And we did have one, of course, in the last game for the in-season tournament, where every team got one for in-season. We actually have this one as our city uniform alternate floor. And the Lakers, to my knowledge, have never had an alternate floor outside of the in-season tournament floors. Never. And so this is a big deal for me because I've been wanting this for years and years and years. We're talking like since I first saw teams actually have alternate floors. I've wanted our team to have like 2 or 3 in rotation. Seeing the same thing over and over again is a bit dull to me. And we've had uniforms that should have had floors attached to them. For example, when we wore those blues, there should have been, back in the day with Los Angeles, there should have been a blue floor to go with that. So, I love seeing colors synchronize and sequences of colors make sense. So for me, this is a pretty massive deal. But for you, it may not be. I respect that, man. Either way, we got the Orlando Magic coming in. They just had their 6-game winning streak broken yesterday by the LA Clippers in a real stinker, man. They had like 3 offensive rebounds as a team, did the Magic, and gave up 15, did the Magic. So, yeah, I don't think that that's something you're probably going to expect them to do on a back-to-back. They have been winning, and they've been beating some depleted teams just like we have. They were on a 6-game winning streak. We are currently on a 6-game winning streak. But something did give last night when the Clippers ultimately had their way with them. The Magic shot under 30% from behind the arc. They are the worst three-point shooting percentage team in the league. So expect for them to clank long rebounds. That has been a thing that our team hasn't really been excelling in. For all of our rebounding prowess, long shot, long rebound is something that we don't seem to get. Our concept on that, we give up offensive rebounds off of 3-point shots so often to the eye test, it's not even funny. I haven't seen any stat on it, but it's pretty ridiculous, to be honest with you. We literally rebound the 3-point ball about as poorly as any Laker team I've seen. So I would love for us to keep that in mind tonight, since we have been hemorrhaging offensive rebounds. That's one of the problems right there. So, yeah, Lakers need to get that under control. Transition defense, because they shoot a lot of threes and brick a lot of threes, I don't know that you have to worry about them trying to score in the paint as much. They don't really have that as a part of what they do, but they got guys who can get to the rim just the same. Franz Wagner, fantastic all-star level guy, playing out of his mind right now. One of the big reasons why they've been on this streak is because Franz has been playing super ball. So his 3-point shot is pretty good. He slashes to the rim like crazy. He can shoot from pretty much anywhere. He's super skilled, and the game comes to him very easily. So we just got to continue to value him as a star on the floor, and put the defense on him necessary to try to neutralize him. We tend to have problems with forwards who can do what he does. We don't really have the people that can stay in front of him. So that's really my concern, that he has a big game tonight because of that. But just the same, they don't necessarily have anybody who can stay in front of our stars too. I don't know who they're going to throw at Anthony Davis. So as long as Anthony Davis is feeling great, although he's considered day-to-day, it's one of those situations where we expect him to be on the injury report on most days just off the strength of the plantar fasciitis and the eye, but he's expected to play. If he's feeling himself tonight, this should be another big game for him. This should be. LeBron James, same thing. I don't know who they got in front of. Who they're going to have guard LeBron. They do have good perimeter defenders, guard defenders, but when it comes to somebody big as Bron, they're asking people like Batas to try to do that, or Franz Wagner, who's not particularly a great defender. Mo Wagner, of course, our old guy. Maybe Jonathan Isaac. Jonathan Isaac probably get that opportunity, but Jonathan's coming off the bench, so I'm not really sure if they're going to try to start him tonight, try to make that make sense. He is always an injury risk, so I think they try to limit his minutes off the strength of that. But we do have to be aware that this is a good defensive team on paper. They got KCP down there, Jalen Suggs down there, Tristan Da Silva, the rookie, that we had our eye on that ultimately we passed on because, of course, we got Dalton, who fell to us. But Tristan da Silva is somebody who could have been a Laker. We liked him a lot. Ceiling kind of limited, but his ability to help now is a real thing, and the Orlando Magic are keeping him on the floor. In fact, I think he got, in one of the games I saw, he had like 39 minutes or something like that. So they're really playing their rookie, their young guy there. As I mentioned, Batazde, this is a real shot blocking threat. This is somebody who's been on my radar for a very long time, since he's been with the Pacers about like 6 years ago. I was telling you guys this is somebody we should have took a flyer on. The Orlando Magic have really developed him into a reliable center, and since they've been down a center in Carter, they've been using Batazde, and he's been doing work. Offensively, he's really been scoring the ball for them, dunking and rebounding like crazy. And defensively, he's a shot blocker. That's what he does. So I really like Batazde. We're going to get a great look at him tonight, and if anybody's going to give us any trouble in the paint, I would imagine it's going to be him on the glass. So we need to be very careful. With them having a bad rebounding night against the Clippers, Zubac's pushing them around, stuff like that, Amir Coffey going off like crazy, I can only imagine that they're going to want to rebound the ball better against us. So Batazde is going to have a lot to do with that. Now, from what I understand, Carter could potentially be a game-time decision, but I don't trust injury reports this early in. I just don't. So I don't know that he'll be available. Of course, Paolo Banchero is continuing to be out. He's going to be out for several more weeks. I'm not really sure exactly what the injury is, but he's out. And, of course, we got, I didn't get a chance to report on this, but yesterday they had a Vando update. And the update is we're several weeks away from really being able to really say anything positive there. In other words, he's going to be sitting for more time. And it's a lot of conversation about the Lakers not handling the information well, saying, he would be ready to start the season, and then telling us it would be a few weeks before we knew something, and then a few weeks later they tell us we're a few weeks out. And I was listening to a podcast. I was basically breaking it down to say that, and shout out to Anthony Irwin for the information. I thought it was extremely insightful for myself personally as a talking head. But essentially, the Lakers are allowing for player empowerment, and I think that trickles down to us relying upon players' representatives to tell us how they're doing in regards to their injuries, and that is in turn making it so that we're getting these type of updates, because at the end of the day, player representation has to paint the player out in the greatest light, and nobody wants to be seen as injury prone. So that's what I kind of understand it to be at this point. And it's almost like you got to ignore these things. It's like the part of the politics. That's what it really boils down to. This is part of Laker politics. You're not going to get actual updates. You're not. You're going to get representation's best interest in regards to their player. That's what you're going to get. So what I would tell everybody in regards to the Los Angeles Lakers is do not trust any injury updates at this point for anybody. You'll see them when you see them. Until then, they're out indefinitely. Everybody. I don't care who they are. If they're not playing, they're out indefinitely. Because you can't trust that they're going to tell you the truth. And that should be a understanding thing at this point. So, for me personally, I don't have any idea when Vanderbilt's coming back, and I'm not going to speculate because of how this is being done. That's it. That's all there is. So I'm telling people, we'll know Vando's back when he's on the court. Until then, trust nothing. So that's really what it is for Vando. Christian Wood, same thing, obviously. Same thing, Christian Wood. If they tell you 2 weeks we'll know something, in 2 weeks you'll know that they'll probably tell you in 2 weeks we'll know something. That's just how this is going to go. And I think the Los Angeles Lakers organization should become hip to that. Your fans don't trust your updates. You might as well not even give any. So that's where we're at with that. Everybody's perturbed. I'm like, man, I just think this is what happens when you decide you want to go player politics. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a good strategy. It's not a great strategy. There are other things that need to be accounted for that don't allow for your team to really have a handle on certain things that you're responsible for when you allow the players the opportunity to run the show. Even if the player is on the up and an honest person, his representation is in their best interest to lie. It's the same thing I say about the GM game. GMs, it's best not to speak at all, because anything they say can be used against them. Anything that they say could be used against the price tag specifically on everything that they own. So it's in their best interest to act like everything's fine. I heard a report yesterday that said that we're because of how well D'Angelo Russell's playing off the bench, we might be interested in keeping him. I don't, I think it's in our best interest to say that. I think that gives us leverage to say that you can't bring some bad trade package to the table. We just as well keep him. That's exactly what we want the field to think. So like when you have that being the environment, the truth doesn't necessarily work in your favor. You ain't gonna always tell it, and nobody's gonna actually say that, because when you're in that game, the last thing you want to do is give that secret away. It's one of the most important things. Is your understanding versus somebody else's not understanding, how you can use that against them. So it's like I'm outside of the game. I can tell the truth. I value the truth for what it is I do. So that's it. That's exactly what it is, man. Some of these things you're going to have to ignore because of the politics. The structure of politics makes it so that people are not going to tell you what's in your best interest to know. They're not going to tell you the truth, and that's the devil in the details. So that's really all I got to say about that. I expect for Rui Hachimura to potentially play tonight. He's considered a game time decision. I understand that he's been dealing with a rolled ankle. I don't know how or when he rolled his ankle, maybe in practice or something like that. But I think he's day to day at this point. We'll see if he shows up, he'll play. If he doesn't show up, then he's out. That's literally it. Same thing with Jackson Hayes. They haven't given us really any update on Jackson Hayes. He rolled his ankle. He's supposed to be out for a week. It's been a week. That's what's going on. So we're shorthanded, but we got Christian Coloco. Thank God he's down there. He's been doing good things. I like what I've seen from him in short minutes. So we'll be throwing him at the Magic as well in the second unit situations, and hopefully we'll take care of rim protection that way. As far as the Magic concerned, you want to consider their 6-game winning streak, but they've beaten some really depleted teams. They've seen the likes of the Washington Wizards, the Charlotte Hornets, the New Orleans Pelicans, the Indiana Pacers, the Clippers, and the Suns. I believe that's how that's gone. That's how the Clipper game they lost, so I might be missing one. But I saw highlights on most of those games. The Philadelphia 76ers, that was the game. Not in that order, but that was the only one I didn't watch highlights on. All the rest of those games I did glance at highlights. And, what I'm seeing from the Orlando Magic is just a team that's really utilizing what they have pretty well. Anthony Black is kind of their 6-man off the bench. He's been scoring a lot lately, too. You got to be careful because he wasn't projected to be a good three-point shooter, but that 3-ball has been falling pretty well for him over the last couple of games. So I would imagine he's going to continue his streak of scoring well. I actually picked him up on some fantasy teams. So keep an eye on Anthony Black. So long as the minutes are there, he's only going to get better and better and better. One of the best perimeter defenders in basketball no one knows about. A big body who could probably guard some threes and maybe some fours in certain situations because of his size. He did turn the ball over about 7 times last night, so that's something we need to pay attention to. But he also had like 8 assists, so he's a known point guard. 6'8", I believe he is, like a good 230 pounds, something like that. I don't know if he's actually that heavy, but that's what he looks like. And this is a really talented two-way player, especially if the 3-ball is going to fall. He's uber talented. And, I don't know how long they're going to keep KCP in the starting lineup because KCP's been shooting under 30% from behind the arc, and it's kind of older, you know what I mean? They're leaning on his expertise. Obviously, we know KCP well. But for me, I'm moving Anthony Black into that starting lineup sooner than later. And I'll play him next to Jalen Suggs. That's how I would do it. But for now, they got just KCP out there. We know KCP's talent. He's going to hound us on the defensive end. Very balanced player. We know KCP. I don't have to explain KCP. We got to be ready for him. I would imagine he's going to snap out of his shooting slump against us. It would not be the first time he's done that. So be ready for KCP. Be ready for Tristan Da Silva. Be ready for Jonathan Isaac. Jonathan Isaac is one of the better defenders in all of basketball. He just can't stay healthy worth a damn. But he's coming off the bench in limited minutes, as already stated, and I do expect that he's going to make a massive impact tonight, probably shot blocking, rebounding. His mid-range shot has grown some. His three-point shot has grown some. So he's a Riley old vet at this point, and I still think of him as someone extremely capable of helping teams defensively, and that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to be one of the best defenders on the floor. He has a very big assignment tonight, and he's going to make his impact felt. He always does. There's 2 things you can count on with Jonathan Isaac: being impactful and getting hurt. You count on both of those things. So hopefully he doesn't get hurt, knock on wood, but definitely expect him to get his I ain't gonna say get his shots up because he's not really a shooter, but expect for him to be extremely impactful on the offensive glass, defensively, stealing the ball, all of that. He's gonna be very, very impactful. And when you have him, KCP, and Jalen Suggs, Black, they got a bunch of defenders, man. That's what they do have. Bataz, they probably make their money on the defensive end. So I think we're going to get hounded tonight. I expect for them to have Dalton Knecht circled on their blackboard as the most important player to stop outside of Anthony Davis. So if I were Coach JJ, I probably wouldn't be looking for Dalton to be overly used tonight. I would probably use him more as a decoy because they have perimeter defenders and they're circling a three-point shooter on their blackboard. So they're going to be looking to throw everything at him tonight. So this ain't the night to say, "Ooh, we got a hot hand. Let's give him 100 shots." No, this is likely to be an off night for Dalton. I'm just going to be honest with you. If he doesn't have an off night, I'm excited about it, but this is constructed for them to have an off night. So, it's more about just matchups, and I think we should kind of lean into the matchups that really work for us, which is our stars. Bron and AD should eat. Rui Hachimura should have some success, although somebody's going to be guarded by Jonathan Isaac at some point. And so, like I said, this is a defensive team. It's going to be an ugly game. They're going to pick three-point shots, and they're going to throw a lot of defense at us. So I expect for this to be ugly. I do. I expect for it to be a nasty game. I expect people to shoot below their natural percentages. And that's just going to be the effect of having great defense on the floor. Gary Harris is on this team. He's a nasty defender. Can really get underneath people. And be careful with their bench, man. The criticism I have of the Orlando Magic construction is that they have too many guards. And some of those guards are really good, and they're not getting the minutes. A guy like Cole Anthony, I think, has all-star potential, but he's been stuck on this Magic team, and it's been falling further and further down the depth chart. The acquisition of Black and KCP and all these people. He's getting like 10 minutes a game. He's 100%, 1,000% better than that. 1,000% better than that. He must get off this team. Free Cole Anthony, damn it. Free Cole Anthony. Because I think he's a hell of a player. I do not think... It's almost like I've been talking about in regard to Dalton Knecht, where I say he's not one of them, where you got him on the bench kind of just shooting 5 shots and just being a role-playing guy. He's a weapon. That's exactly what I think of Cole Anthony. That's a full-fledged weapon. He should be in somebody's team either starting, and if not starting, being the 6th man. And he's stuck like it's the 8th guy on this Magic team, and that's the worst way to utilize a weapon like that. So I just want people to know, I know Cole Anthony's good. I'd have him on my team if I were someone else. I would have traded for him already. He should be in a situation. I would trade for him if the Orlando Magic are open to trading for Cole Anthony. That's somebody we need to target. You talk about getting more than what you're going to pay for. Yeah, he's undoubtedly going to double his value whenever he gets the hell out of there, because he's so much better than he's being asked to be. And anytime he gets an opportunity to show that, he does. I don't know what his limitations are. Maybe it's because he's a smaller guy. Maybe he's not that great defensively. But if you need an offensive weapon who can do combo things, get rebounds and assists and points and shoot from behind the arc and dunk a ball, and he's got it all, man. Cole Anthony is in one of the worst positions to showcase a talent in the entire NBA, in my opinion. One of the worst. So that's what I think there. I'm 100% certain of that too. I have no questions at all about that. Cole Anthony, beware. He is extremely talented. He's not gonna, he's gonna get some minutes tonight, but the majority of the night he's probably gonna be playing behind people like Gary Harris and KCP and Anthony Black. It's just what it is for him. Caleb Houston's also another player on this team that's not getting a lot of minutes, but I've seen him do good things, so I know he's capable. Some upside there. So, I don't expect him to play, but he's pretty good, man. So, they got a few other players on this team as well. Corey Joseph is back there somewhere. I don't think he's getting any minutes, but he's there. And I feel like I'm forgetting somebody extremely important on this Magic team. I don't know who it is, but understand that Mo Wagner and Franz Wagner are kind of spearheading a lot of what's going on down there. Both of them are playing well. Mo's three-point shot has improved some. He gets to the line. I don't really know how he does defensively, honestly. I'm not really sure, but we know he can rebound. We remember that when we drafted him. So, we're going up against some old Lakers, man. KCP and Mo Wagner are going to want to make their impact on this floor tonight. as all old Lakers do. And we have extensive history with KCP, obviously, both as an opponent and as a player for many years, NBA champion here. So we know KCP as well as anybody in the league does. And we need to be ready for him to snap out of that slump, be ready for him to steal the ball from us in open court situations, finish. I really miss how he used to finish in the open court, man. We could count on him to get the steal and beat somebody down the floor and dunk the ball. I don't know if he still has that type of athleticism, because I think Father Time is starting to really knock on the door with KCP, to be honest with you. He's had a few injuries here and there that probably took away from some of his athleticism, but the KCP we remember was really balanced and a really athletic player who could light it up from behind the arc. So I just have him circled tonight as a perimeter pest, someone who's going to make life really hard for us, accompanied by a lot of perimeter pests who are going to make life hard for us. They are not a bad defensive team, man. I'm telling you, they got the personnel to defend a lot of positions, but they don't have the personnel to defend Anthony Davis or LeBron James, and that's who they're going to need to stop. So, I expect our ball handlers to have tough nights, though. A guy like Austin Reeves is going to have some of the toughest defense he's had on him all season on him tonight. D'Angelo Russell, this is not a D'Angelo Russell matchup. He tends to not do well with these type of defenders. This is the type of night where I don't expect a lot out of him. Gabe Vincent, I just think our ball handlers going to have issues tonight. I really do, man. I think it's going to be a tough night for people who like to dribble too much. So that's really what I got to say, man. I think they have some of the best perimeter defenders, some of the best guard defenders in basketball on this team right here. Jalen Suggs, Anthony Black, KCP, it's Jonathan Isaac. They got him. So that's what it is, man. I expect this to be a very ugly basketball game, but I expect Anthony Davis to put up like 40 points on them. They don't have nobody to stop him, bro, at all. And as long as we're not dumping the ball to Dalton Connect with like intentions of him getting 50 points tonight, so that we can have them zero in on their defense that's likely going to be catered to him, I think we'll be fine. But if we do that overcompensating for Dalton's success in the previous game crap, I think that plays right in Orlando's hands. And I worry about that being a thing. So as long as we go star heavy tonight, we should push the Orlando Magic around. At the end of the day, they're missing Paolo Banchero, man. On paper, they should not beat the Lakers, so long as our stars are healthy and then ready to play big minutes tonight. So that's really what it is, man. Orlando had their losing streak snap, but they didn't have that. Winning streak snap, but they didn't have that by accident. They played some depleted teams, but they played some really good ball. That's what I want people to know. Defense to offense, they hit their shots. They got a lot out of some people that are starting to come along. And this is a nice young team, man. It's a nice young team. They do have some older guys there, but they're not too old. The people that they use they have a young squad that's ready to rock. They've had some playoff experience over the last couple years. I think it's a pretty decent team, man. I would love for Orlando to make a trade so that they can make more of what they have make more sense. But for now, they have a really strong bench because of it, and you don't really know who's going to go off aside from Franz Wagner every night. Count on Franz. And Suggs, started off the season really hot, kind of cooled off, sort of like Rui did. I expect for Suggs to ramp it back up again on the offensive end, so I wouldn't be surprised if he has a big night tonight. But, yeah, man, that's what it is. Anthony Black on the offensive end is playing really well, better than he's expected to play. Generally, he's not really a scorer like he's been scoring. I expect for his scoring to continue tonight. He's just in a nice role, 3-ball, all that. So, yeah, this is a really good two-way team. They play both sides of the floor, and they have the talent to do it. So that's really what it is, man. That's my thought on this Orlando Magic game. Of course, I'm very excited about the floor we're going to have down there and everything. I want to get off to a good start with that, get us a 7th game winning streak popping off. And when we got a real test starting now with teams that are really good, that are going to test to see if we're really legit like this 6-game winning streak would otherwise describe. Ain't no more depleted teams necessarily. Now we get to see Jokic, although he's been out, not with an injury, so I'd imagine he'll be back for the Laker game. We see Phoenix, who's a little depleted, but KD should probably be on the way back. I don't know what's going on with Bradley Beal. He's been out, but Booker's healthy. they may be depleted too. So, hopefully we can just continue on our streak. And of course, we got the big tournament game on Tuesday. I think it's against Phoenix. I think that is the tournament game. And OKC's around the corner as well. So it ain't going to be much easier from here. I think we got another date with the Spurs coming up as well. We know how well they played us. So, yeah, man, this is going to get tough. It's going to get tough, but we are tough. And at home, we've won all of our games, so I don't expect this to be any different. Eastern Conference team is winning 6 games in a row against some bad teams. Reality strikes when they have to go west. That's the reality of it. And, on paper, you just expect for them to lose this game because this is a Western Conference game, and it ain't easy. It ain't easy when you have to go out west. So, from their perspective, they're feeling bad about losing that game, but they know they've won 6 straight. So if the team that comes against them doesn't play well, they feel like some of their good habits should carry forward. And that's what we need to be aware of, their perspective. They have had good habits. They have been winning games. And so that's really what it comes down to. So have we. And that's what it is. So, yeah, man, let's keep our winning streak alive, protect this house, get a good start to our new black LA floor branding. You know what I mean? We don't want to have that synonymous with losing at all. And just be aware of the defensive ability and the rebounding ability of a team named the Orlando Magic, who rebounded poorly last night, who I know is going to make up for it if we let them. So that's really what it is, man. They gave up a lot of offensive rebounds yesterday. That's something we excel in. We definitely rebound our own. We just have trouble rebounding the other teams. So that's what it is, man. Keep Batazde, Isaac, Suggs off the glass, man. Keep Franz off the glass. BDL 44. I thank you all for watching. Wow.